me last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning the IBF, Derek Chisora and Daniel Dubois. Get this. The IBF ordered, as of yesterday, heavyweight title is Daniel Dubois to face mandatory Derek Chisora 30 days until May 22nd to make a deal, or a purse bid will be ordered. Until it's ordered, Daniel Dubois can still get an exception for unification with Usyk that remains in the works. Hashtag boxing. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Usyk versus Dubois 2 is almost set for July 12th at Wembley, undisputed heavyweight gold on the line. So what does that mean? That means that Daniel Dubois, can get an exception for a unification with Usyk that remains in the works. And of course, we know the IBF has got a lot of criticism because a lot of people feel that Otto Weiland versus Derek Chisora wasn't a big enough fight to be an eliminator anyway. But you guys know why that happened, right? Is because Martin Bakole was supposed to fight Efe Ajagba for that #1 slot. And whoever Daniel end up fighting, he would eventually have to fight that winner out of those guys. That's if he beats Usyk. So he has to beat Usyk. But the IBF now has given him 30 days. So they have 30 days, people, to ask for an exception, just like the WBO did. Okay, that's why Parker is still waiting for the mandatory, or stayed mandatory, how they quoted it, for whoever wins out of Danny Dubois versus Joseph Parker. So the question is, who's going to be first? Who's going to be next? Will it be the WBO on Joseph Parker's end, or will it be the IBF on Derek Chisora's end? Either way, whoever wins out of those two guys has to fight those two guys. Okay, eventually. That's what that means. But the IBF, of course, you know, it seems like they're becoming more lenient, because before it's like, hey, you got 30 days or a purse bid will be made, and if you can't come to the agreement, and if you can't get a fight made, we're going to strip you. So there won't be any unification fight. The only unification fight you're going to have is the WBO, the WBC, and the WBA, which are held by Alexander Usyk, because the IBF always comes in to strip you at the end of the day. So I think they're becoming more lenient, you know, so and I think because of the criticism they're getting for Derek Chisora versus Otto Weiland, okay, for that final eliminator. But I'll tell you this, though. They would have been better off just allowing Efe Ajagba to be worthy to get that #1 slot than Derek Chisora, or have Derek Chisora fight the winner out of Martin Bakole and Efe Ajagba. It didn't have to be the way that they had. Or if Efe Ajagba wins, he gets that opportunity versus Martin Bakole, excuse me, that went for the WBO fighting Parker, because he would have been the #1, because Parker's the #1. He's the mandatory. You see what I'm saying? Since he went for that particular fight, he lost his privileges from the IBF. So allow the other guy, Efe Ajagba, to get it. That makes more sense to me than this shit they're doing about Derek Chisora and Otto Weiland, and make those next guys eliminators. Because it really wasn't fair to Efe Ajagba what Martin Bakole decided to do by flying his big ass from the Congo to Saudi Arabia to fight in a 2 days notice. Because the first real blow he received, he was out of there. You know what I mean? So he wasn't even prepared or conditioned enough to take any particular shots. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't fair to Efe Ajagba, because Efe Ajagba still has to take on Martin Bakole. And you know how boxing is. It still affects his record overall. So if Bakole wins, no, he won't get the IBF, but he would still get another stripe on the back of beating another guy that's in the top 5. Okay, but again, Derek Chisora and Otto Weiland, well, actually, it's Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is a guy that he's expecting a title shot. You know, whether Derek Chisora gets hurt or not, I can't say I'm not concerned because I am. But Derek Chisora, if you don't know Derek Chisora by now, he's going to do whatever he's going to do. You know, and you know that Team Dubois, if they got a July 12th date set for an undisputed fight for Daniel Dubois, they're going to get that letter over. So expect to see that in the future. You know what I mean? Because remember when Alexander Usyk had that opportunity, you know, he wrote to Daryl Peoples, you know, to get an extension, not to fight Philip Hrgovic, because he had to fight Tyson Fury because he was contractually obligated to fight Tyson Fury. Now, the question is, who wins? What if Dubois beats Usyk and Usyk has a rematch clause? Well, the same things, he's going to run into the same problems. And at that point, you should expect the IBF to strip him. You know what I mean? Or Daniel Dubois may give up one of those belts and allow whoever to fight for it. That could be the case because that's exactly what Alexander Usyk did, you know. But that's only if he loses to Daniel Dubois. But you guys tell me what you think about the IBF giving Daniel Dubois 30 days to make a fight with Derek Chisora or ask for an extension, or a purse bid will be set. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.